All right. Good morning. Thanks for joining Jonathan and Julie D in the morning. Good morning, Julie.
Grand rising, Jonathan. Great to see you.
Yeah, it's a beautiful sunny day out here in Arizona.
Good.
And we've got a special guest this morning, Sam Anthony from yournews.com. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
A lot better than you. Sounds like you guys got pretty cold out there in Florida.
It's unbelievably cold, but you didn't get any of the cold air? It didn't come down?
We got some cold air. Yes, I did.
You did, but what about Arizona?
Well, we've been in the 70s.
Nice.
Yeah.
Perfect weather. So we got your weather, Sam. And,
yes.
And you got Julie's weather.
I think so.
Well, we'll be out of it tomorrow. I think it's going to get close to 70 and then 75. So thank God.
Woo. Yay. Yes. I know you guys don't even have the clothes for all of that weather. So
no. Well, I think the women like it because they have all this stuff stashed away and they get to bring out their boots and, the scarves and whatever.
Right.
Yes. Guys don't have weather clothes for this kind of stuff.
No, you don't.
Nothing. I mean, that's why I have this on today. It's a golf sweater, right?
Right.
Well, you almost look like you're ready for Alaska.
I know. Well, this is Alaska here today, for us.
So for our viewing audience, if you don't know who Sam Anthony is, he's the owner and founder of yournews.com. And I was actually Sam's very first investor into his company. And Sam, you have tremendously have grown and have reached the world now. I'm very impressed with what you've done in such a short time.
Thank you. Yeah, we've hit I just looked like 20 minutes ago, 5,650 content creators right now. So these are like local news reporters all over the United States. So we get tons of content coming in. And, and it's really cool because, the legacy media, which has, been faltering, eventually what will be gone and what we do will ultimately replace the legacy media. This will become the next mainstream media, complete citizen powered press, which is what we need. Right. I mean, you guys are citizen journalists. That's what you are. The format that you use is video. Some people do audio. Some people do written. We handle all three, as you know. And what we are the aggregator of what you guys do.
Right.
Right. And the niche is the local, being able to serve news to a specific city. Right. That's
right. So Sam, for all those citizen journalists out there that want to be promoting their stuff out there on yournews.com, so it reaches every city in the United States like we do. What's the best way for them to reach out to you?
All they have to do for people that are interested in becoming news reporters, we call them citizen journalists. They could go to yournews.com, scroll down to the bottom of the page, and then there's a link down there that says become a citizen journalist. You click that, And on that page, a little bit below the videos, you're going to see an application. You fill that out. It comes to us. Once it gets approved, you'll get an email notification with instructions on how to use your dashboard, and you know how to use it. It's very simple.
Oh yeah, and for our audience out there, if you reach out to me as well, I can walk you through it as far as how to get your stuff out there to Sam. It's real easy. It takes about 30 seconds to publish a news broadcast. And boy, you know, Sam, I was kind of testing you out here over the last couple of weeks. So when I'm traveling and stuff like down on the border in different counties, I'll type in yournews.com and look for my stories. And by God, they show up in Yuma, Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. I mean, you name it. So it doesn't just cover Kingman, Arizona. It covers everywhere.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. And that very much impresses me.
Well, that's the niche, right? I mean, the ability, you know, anybody could do national, but the ability to be able to cover local news stories, right? So we publish to city, county, market, state, regional, or national, but, you know, you could, you know, the void we fill is the collapse of the legacy media. And you have all these independent news reporters now that are out there looking for a home. You've got, just on LinkedIn alone, there's almost 500,000 people that are calling themselves freelance journalists. And most of them are part of the downsizing of the legacy media. There's a couple 100,000 student journalists on LinkedIn. Right. So just that one platform has 700,000 people. That doesn't include Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, or, you know, all the other places where content creators are. You know, we're a platform like any other platform, right? And it's all about, you know, the content coming into the site. And we currently get, I believe, a little more than 2,000 articles a week still. I mean, which is a lot of content. But if you're looking at daily, it's like, it's a few hundred a day, but it's actually more than that because Saturdays and Sundays are slower. You know, it's the news. Like today's slow, Monday, you know, Saturday and Sunday are slow. Monday slow until this afternoon, you know, as it starts coming out. And then, you know, it starts Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday's nuts. And, you know, some of those days you get 400 plus stories, but then the weekends dry up a little bit. So,
right.
But, you know, eventually we'll double our content creators. We'll go from, you know, call it 6,000 to 12,000, and you'll have that many more stories to handle.
Right.
So,
well, I know when you go to yournews.com, it is just flooded with stories. I mean, everything from local news to what's happening on our borders, which you name it, it's out there.
Yep.
Yeah. And Jonathan, we're building the largest citizen-powered press in the world, right? Yeah. And we have room for, this is a guess, but there's 20,000 cities. Most of the news we get is local news somewhere. So if we have about 50 people per city, you're talking about 1 million people reporting news in the United States. And, you know, it's like YouTube. It'll be probably the 80-20 rule, right? Because the marketplace is going to decide what kind of content they like. But news reporting is not just limited to politics. People could do, a high school football game. They could do faith-based stuff. They could do travel news. They could do movie reviews, theater critics, restaurant reviews. It's whatever passion they have. That's the beauty.
Right. That's great. That's awesome.
Well, I'm thankful that I got in with you from day one on the ground floor, just as an investor, just watching the way you have grown and the way it just continues to. Your growth is amazing.
Thanks. I mean, it's not hard to grow because they have nowhere to go, right? I mean, it's like, you know, I'm the only one that has food and everybody's hungry, right?
Right. So, yeah, exactly.
It's easy.
Well, you look at ABC News, NBC News, even Fox News, how many of their journalists have actually cut in the last 18 months, you know, and just watching them slowly but surely completely sink is what they're doing. They're sinking themselves.
Well, they are. But Jonathan, I've said this many times, even if they're telling the truth, they're still going out of business. It's an antiquated product, right? That's why you don't send a telegraph anymore. It's because somebody created a phone. It's always a product that replaces something else. So the legacy media is doomed for failure because of the internet. 100%. That's the reason.
Right.
And, we just happen to have a business model like all these, you're not going to compete with Google. You're not going to compete with YouTube. You're not going to compete with Facebook. Those models have already been done, but nobody's done the local news.
Right.
That's the key. So, our platform is all about hyper local news, and it doesn't matter if it's your kid's little league game, the high school football game, or the Monday night football game. So we have it all. So we're one big, massive aggregator, bringing all the country's information under one umbrella and creating one uniform media. Remember, there's still a demand for news. It's just consumption that has changed. And the local newspaper has always been the backbone of a free society. So without it, we're all screwed. Who's the police? Well, we all know we can't count on mainstream media to make sure that corruption gets caught. It's now up to everyday citizen journalists like you guys uncover. I mean, look what happened in Minneapolis with Nick Shirley.
Right.
Okay, that wasn't a Fox News story. Wasn't CNN. Wasn't ABC. Wasn't NBC. Wasn't the Minneapolis Star Tribune. Was it?
No.
Okay. No, it was some kid. I mean, and I'm sure he had no idea this was going to get national attention, right? I mean, he had no idea. It just so happened that billions of tax dollars were stolen.
Yep.
We thought you left us there.
I thought I did too. I'm glad to be back.
Yeah. So, billions of tax dollars were taken, and, that story just gained national attention. And so I've got almost 6,000 Nick Shirleys.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay. So
that's fabulous.
A friend of mine told me, he goes, you're one story away from becoming famous, not me, the platform, right?
Right.
Because if Nick was on our product, then we would have got all the attention for that.
Right.
So if you guys don't mind, could you guys break a big story there in Arizona? And
sure.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Problem. There's plenty to choose from, Sam.
Well, we've actually got we've actually got a pretty big story coming up down on our borders, which we're going to announce the day that I'm down there. Not giving the enemy heads up, but anyways, got a pretty big story coming up.
Good.
So everything that's going on right now in this country, Sam, we're getting it out there. We're getting it broadcasted. One of the things I love about your platform as well is you do not censor us. I mean, you allow it to, whatever is on our mind, you let it go. And you're leaving it up to us journalists to make sure what we're saying is accurate. And if you try to do that on Facebook, YouTube, even YouTube will censor the heck out of you if they don't like what you're saying. So I know when we're doing these broadcasts like today, we know it's getting out there to the world, and it's getting out the way we say it.
Right.
And that's so important today in news reporting.
Absolutely.
Because all these news agencies, they do the same thing. They just slice and dice everything that you say and make it look like something that you never said.
Right.
And next thing you know, you got the whole world going, we don't like your news, Arizona now.
Yeah. They're good. They're good at changing the narrative ever so slightly, but it's still changed. Right. That's what I do like about the uncensorship that we have here at Your News.
So here's what I'm going to do for the viewing audience real quick, Sam. Hold on a second. We're going to go over to Google, and I'm going to put in yournews.com and show people your site real quick. There we go.
Are you going to share your screen?
Matter of fact, Julie, can you type in yournews.com and let's share the screen?
Sure.
For whatever reasons, my pad is not doing it.
All right, let me see here. And we're going to do the share.
Okay. Yeah.
So at the top, you guys can see we've got my Kansas City, Missouri plugged in, and I can change that if I choose to. I also have the option to submit news.
So if you scroll down to the very bottom, Julie.
Okay.
Go all the way to the bottom of the page. So down here on the very bottom, right there in the left-hand corner, you'll see your login right there,
Right.
So all you have to do, folks, is you'd hit your login, and that takes you right into the site for publishing, and that's right where you put your story in. It only takes a matter of a second. So there is where you'd log in, all the good stuff, and then once you log in, you put your story or your video, like today's broadcast is going on there. But you'll add your story to it. You send it over to Sam, and they get it published for you guys. Usually in about a matter of 30 minutes.
Right. But they still have to have an account. So they have to come here, make sure they create an
Right.
account. And the way you do that is if you scroll down a little bit, there's a become a citizen journalist
Yep.
application.
I just hit that one. Yep. So here we
so
are.
scroll down a little bit and you'll see an
Okay.
application. Right there,
There we
becomes
go.
right there.
Yeah.
So that needs to be filled out. Once it gets activated, you get an email with instructions on how to use the your dashboard, which includes the login that he showed you. So yeah,
Right.
it's all,
Beautiful.
do this first. Make sure you get this done.
Yep. But again, guys, if you want your stories out there to where it's hitting every city in the United States, you know, you got to get on yournews.com. I mean, these guys are amazing, and this is also a Patriot-owned company as well, and we're all about supporting Patriot.
Calling all journalists. Tired of watching the news ignore what actually matters in your local community? This.
Calling all journalists. Sorry about that. I didn't know I hit that.
She does a great job.
Yes, she looks like a friend of mine. That's funny. What's her name?
Ariana, and she's
Ariana,
she's on Instagram. She handles our Instagram account, and then she has her own, which is the Identical Mirrored. I believe she's got about 350,000 followers on that. She did that in less than 2 years.
Wow, that's fantastic.
She produces great content. She's very good.
Right.
Okay, I'll have to follow her. So yeah, that's very easy. Plug and play.
Yeah, no, it's simple stuff. And remember, you know, the national news, you could get that stuff anywhere. It's the local news that matters, right? I mean, you know, certainly all of it matters, but you know, you could get the Monday night football game anywhere, but you can't get the high school football game. And that's the stuff that people resonate with, is the local stuff that matters most in the community. So, you know, you could certainly break a story like Nick Shirley did, which makes national news, but that happened in Minneapolis, right? I mean, that's where it's from. So, you know, you really want to focus on all the local news in the area, because that's going to attract the local audience, you know, where you can, you know, well, there'll be national news as well, but either or, we could handle it all.
Yeah.
That's fabulous.
Well, we haven't seen you since American Fest. You planning on any more trips out to Arizona, Sam?
Well, not in the near term, but I'm sure I'll be out there again sometime. I enjoyed myself quite a bit.
Well, why don't you come make a border trip with me and the team?
Oh my God.
That'd be a good idea.
We've got one coming up soon.
We'll have a conversation about that later. It all depends on what I'm doing here, because my focus this year is to finish out that equity crowdfund in the next few months and then start working on another one, right? So the investment piece.
Right.
So I'm really going to be focused on getting that done. So I'm going to be doing a lot of shows and stuff like that. I kind of laid off of them for a few months, but I'm going to get back on them.
So are you still taking people that want to come into your news in that way?
Yeah. So we're doing the equity crowdfund. It's you know, if somebody's interested in making an investment, you could go to your news and go down to the bottom. There's this thing that says invest, which is close to become a citizen journalist, right down there. And that'll take you to a place called Issuance Express, which is owned by North Capital Partners. It's a brokerage firm. You can read about what we're doing.
Right.
And if you want to make an investment, you could spend $200 and anywhere in between. It doesn't matter. We sold probably about 40% of the offering. We're just around $500,000, and the offering is 1.2 million. So yeah, so you showing it. Okay. So yeah, at the bottom, it says invest. When you click that, it takes you to a page called Nico Ventures, which is the holding company for your news. which has all of our financial information on there and anything that has to do with the investment. And you can make an investment directly from there. Once we finish this round, we'll do another one, but it's going to be at a different number. So you'll see the number raised is 484,200 right there.
Right.
So of the 1.2. So we're almost at $500,000.
So, and again, guys,
Great.
you know, I invested with Sam on day one, and this has been, God, what, how many years ago now, Sam?
We've been doing this. Well, the first monies came in with you almost in September, the end of August. So in August, it'll be 2 years. Well, the end of August, it'll be 2 years.
Right.
Yeah. So just say 1.5 years.
Yeah, and like I said, just to see how far you have come in that 2 years. I mean,
Huge.
you know,
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you guys what. I can almost guarantee you're going to be kicking yourselves in your butt if you don't invest, and that's all I'm going to say. So that's why I have no problem dumping in. You know, I dumped in a fair amount. I'll just say that. But either way, you know, it's going to pay off, guys. You're not going to find an outlet like Sam's that's going to get the news out there to the world, plus your local. I mean, you name it, and Sam does it all. And you know, Sam, honestly, I think where you're going, and if you end up putting a chat thing on there like we discussed and different things on there, I think you might actually put Facebook in harm's way.
Yeah, it's so. I mean, all that stuff's all going to be completed. You know, this is in any business. You really want to fill a void, right? You know, and
Right.
so the void is the collapse of the legacy media and all the stuff on the internet. You know, all those voids have been filled except this one. This is
Right.
one that hasn't been done. And we figured it out, and now the next step is just to scale it up. I mean, you know, the future of news will be obviously a platform. Nothing works unless it's a platform because you need hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of content creators that are driving traffic. That's why all the websites that generate the most traffic are all platforms because they have massive user bases, right? TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Rumble, Facebook has 2 billion users. So that's where they get all their traffic. It's from their content creators, which drives the audience.
Right.
I think YouTube has 51 million channels. So somebody like you would have a channel on Rumble but they had 2.7 billion people consume it last month. Billion.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, think about that. So
That's
we're no
huge.
different. We're a platform organized like a local newspaper with the ability for the public to interact and contribute to the narrative locally, along with a monetization model for news reporters where they can submit their work freely without censorship and share in the ad revenue, and a self-service ad platform where people can buy their own ad and target it to one zip code or wherever the hell they want to. Sound familiar? I mean, every platform offers the same thing, and they just don't do what we do.
Well, you know what you just said. The key word was without censorship. Because here's the thing, Sam. If you notice, I did not get a story over to your news on Thursday of last week. And the reason why we did not get a broadcast over to you, we were censored. Me and Julie did about an hour and 20-minute program live on the air. It showed us we were live on the air.
Yeah.
And we get done, we're getting ready to end the broadcast, and none of the channels were being broadcasted to. They blocked us. So we ended up having to use a different IP server through Starlink to get it out there. Because somehow they blocked the regular IP that normally I would have for broadcast. And
who blocked it?
All of them.
All of them.
Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, every single one of them. And I think it was the topic. We were talking about weather modification. And I had the receipts. I was showing all the receipts. And it was right before the storm. So.
Julie had all the facts in hand. That way it's not propaganda, you know. A bunch of propaganda garbage. She actually had the actual documents where we were showing them the whole 9 yards
to where the patent numbers.
Yeah, the patent numbers to all this weather modification bullshit that they're poisoning us with, and they just totally shut us down. I have
Yep,
never,
all channels.
I have
Yep.
never seen all channels just get shut down like that.
So were you being distributed, routed through one place to all channels?
we were. So we were using our Restream app, which
Mhm.
broadcasts to multiple. Like right now, we're on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, X, and several others, all live at the same time today.
Right.
So if they block the restream, it blocks it to all the
Yep.
channels, because I don't see Rumble shutting that down.
Yep. I couldn't, but well, they did.
We were surprised too. Yeah, we were surprised with that too.
So it's the place that distributes that shut it down.
Probably.
You're right.
Now that we are looking at it.
Yeah, that might be something. But either way, so we had to change our internet provider and start using a different IP.
What a pain in the ass.
Yeah, but either way, I've never had one of my broadcasts like that where it's showing that we're live for that whole hour and 20 minutes, and then we're going to end the broadcast. And it's like, where are we at? What the hell happened?
Yeah. Yeah, it
Could
was
it be
weird. We're over the target though.
I guess
we're over
so.
the
I mean,
target.
couldn't it have been a technical malfunction or something? Or
I don't believe so.
did you have it taped? Could you submit it to different
No.
areas?
It
No,
was just live.
Oh,
We had to do the whole thing over again live.
all of our broadcasts are live stream.
Mhm.
All of them.
so this one is too.
This is
Right.
live. Yeah, this is live stream.
Mhm.
Okay.
So,
All right.
but
Wow.
but I think there's got to be a way I could be able to do a live stream and a recording at the same time. I would think.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
So I'm just getting familiar with this hosting app. But now I do have my website designer right now. He's trying to create my own hosting app to where I don't have to pay this $400 or $500 a year for a hosting app.
Mm.
So it's going to be integrated with my website, and then we can
That'll be
broadcast. Then we can broadcast live right from our website instead of having to use these guys.
Mm.
So
That'll be good.
and the cost would be a fat zero.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. At some point in time, we'll get some kind of video capability. The embed code works fine for now, but at some point in time, as you get bigger, you want to have your own.
Yeah. But like I said, Sam, what you're doing out there in Florida, you're doing amazing work, and you're getting the truth out to America, the truth that matters. And
That's right.
and and again, it's the citizen journalists that are exposing the truth, because these guys on all these other networks, Fox, ABC, they're all liars, every last one of them. I mean, which we have proven time after time after time. And
Yep.
Remember, they're just reading off a teleprompter. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
I mean, and the money is diminished. I'm talking the ad revenue. The only thing they have left is the pharmaceutical companies. The reason the money's diminished is because the audience has diminished, and all the money is being spent on platforms. So YouTube's not getting smaller; it's getting bigger. Instagram isn't getting smaller; it's getting bigger. This is where everything is headed, right? And so the natural order of things is the money goes where the people are, which means it has to be pulled from something else. It's going to be pulled from the ones where there's less people.
Right.
And therein lies the problem. So they have less resources to go out and cover stories. Not to say that they would run it anyway, but even if it was a great story to run, they don't have the resources to find it anymore.
Right. Well, my understanding, people
good point, Sam.
People like Sean Hannity on Fox News, Laura Ingraham, Jesse Waters. My understanding is all three of them have their jobs at stake right now, because they are going against Fox News with what Fox News tells them to broadcast. They go, no, we're going to share the truth the way we see it. And so now it sounds like they're going to end up looking for a job like Tucker Carlson did.
Well, they need to come over to yournews.com.
Exactly. Well,
exactly.
Tucker had no problem, going to the internet, right? Because he was such a big brand to begin with.
Right.
I think those other guys I don't think they're going to have as much a problem because they're recognized by millions, right? So to get a following is going to be relatively quickly. These guys will be able to do it. But, you know, some of us or you guys you got to build your own audience, right? You know, you
Right.
didn't have you weren't lucky enough to be on a network that had an audience that, you know, made you famous.
Right.
So this is where platforms come in. So if you're on multiple platforms, the reason you're on them is for broader distribution because
Right.
they have traffic. People can find you. You know, your news Arizona. So, you know, people in Arizona are going to gravitate to that.
Right.
Right.
Oh, just to clarify to the viewing audience, Your News Arizona does not own yournews.com. Sam Anthony owns yournews.com.
Right.
We're just Your News Arizona.
But he does have our logo right on that microphone.
And,
Cool.
Yep. Right there, guys. Your News.
Very cool.
Yep. And you're the one that talked me into getting that. And I love it.
Would you spend $20 for that or something like that?
I think these were like $30 for a box of 4 of them.
For a box of 4, no kidding.
Nice. Good price.
So, but it looks pretty good out in the field when you're broadcasting.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it does.
Yes, I need a million more people like you carrying them around, right?
Yeah. So I don't own yournews.com, but I am an investor in yournews.com. So,
yep. And we need definitely more of them. So that's what we're working on. I did look up how many share, because at some point in time, we're going to take this public, and that is going to be when we hit roughly 50,000 plus content creators. So at that point, we make the decision, do we want to wait till 60 or 70 or 80? Because once you start getting that kind of numbers, you're going anyway.
Right.
But we need 3,000 shareholders. That's how many we need. And we have like 350 or something like that. So
wow,
we're a ways away, but that's okay because we have a long time. So there'll be more people buying. I mean, my guess is you'll probably have another 300 or 400 on this offering, probably to maybe 400 on this offering to finish it off, and then we'll do another one, and we'll start building from there. So all good, man.
Yep. And for those of you guys that want to invest in yournews.com. I think you can invest any amount each month, I believe. Is that correct, Sam?
Yeah. So the minimum is 200, but you could buy $200 this month and next month. But there's a limit based on income, and that has nothing to do with me. That is the regulation on the platform, which is SEC regulated, and I'm going to guess that depending on your income, it could be the maximum investment based on how much you make could be as little as $2,500 on the lowest end. So, but then, there's people that have put in much more than that. So, your page is just the offering. And once you decide to make an investment, you click that invest now, which takes you to another page and you have to create an account. It's, but this is all done this is a brokerage firm's website. So monies go to the brokerage firm, and then eventually we clear escrow and get the money from that.
Right. So,
great.
And they also base it on your assets too, I believe, right, Sam?
I think so. So there's some people that have made much larger investments. I don't know what they needed to show to do it, because if you're going to make a very large investment, they're just going to want to see that you really have that kind of net worth. Don't ask me what it is they asked for, but it's just to make sure. What they don't want is they don't want people calling people who, and telling them to mortgage your house and put it in, because this, they don't want to, they don't want anybody still. So this keeps it in check. So this is the brokerage firm which is regulated for this stuff, which I like because it lends credibility, number one, but number two, we're going to need them later anyway, because when you go public, they're the ones that keep all the data. So everything gets stored with them.
Yep.
Good.
So for you guys that like to invest in stocks and different things, or take or whatever, this would be a great thing to invest in. And I'm telling you guys right now, I don't just invest my money into anything, and just watching Sam operate for the longest time and saying, okay, you know what, I do want to invest, and I am so thankful I did. And again, I think this is going to be the next Facebook on steroids. Oh, I do. I think next Facebook, YouTube, whatever. I mean, because of the fact that a lot of people say, well, Rumble doesn't censor you. Rumble does censor you, and I've heard from other podcasters. Yes. And we keep losing Julie.
You just disappeared on us.
I
I
think we
don't
got
know.
her.
That's weird.
You keep jumping out of the studio there, Julie.
I don't know. They must be testing the internet here. I had some issues with connectivity earlier today, so
Oh, did you?
I don't know. But it seems to jump right back in immediately. It's bizarre. I don't know what's going on.
So do you guys have a storm out there in Kansas City right now?
No, but they sprayed the crap out of us yesterday, so I'm anticipating one in the next 24 to 48 hours.
Yeah. Sam, are they doing a lot of chemtrails out there in Florida?
You know, I've seen them here, but I haven't seen any in a while. So I don't. I know that it's, you know, the chemtrails are a hot topic, and I think they may have slowed them down. I don't know. I remember listening. Somebody was saying that they're, you know, this is going into Congress now because of why are they doing it? What's the purpose of all this stuff?
Right.
So
Right.
hopefully, you know, hopefully they shut it all down. I don't know if a state can stop it. Do you guys have any knowledge on that?
My
So-
understanding is Donald Trump is trying to put a stop to it, is what I'm being told.
Wouldn't it be easy to do? Wouldn't you just shut it all down? Thank you. Executive order. None of these planes fly.
Thank you.
Wouldn't that be
Exactly.
really simple to do? I mean, that's just
It should be. It should be, yes.
Well,
you know,
Arizona right now is fighting it because they're saying that Arizona needs the water. Well, Arizona's been around how many years?
Yeah.
4 billion.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
As long as the earth has been in existence, that piece of
Right.
ground has been around. So I
Yeah.
would say, you know, who knows? Maybe Arizona was an ocean at one point.
Right.
But
Well,
it's
Well, people have found seashells.
there you go. There you
Right.
go.
Oh, they have.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of legislation at the state levels, and that's being introduced to halt them in different states. But then I don't know. There's also, we need to do a little more digging because while there's only about 8 states that are saying that they're doing the chemtrailing, we know that there's more. And they're just not acknowledging it. So how do you go up against something that people aren't even allowing to be discussed, right?
You have to have the top down. It has to be Trump. He's the only
Yes.
one that can do
Yeah,
it.
I think so. I think
Hey, guys.
so. He's aware.
Hey, guys, real quick, I need to announce one of our promoters here. So
Hmm.
today I want to promote Loaded Gun Copy, Steve and Terry Thomas out of Lake Havasu, Arizona. If you guys scan their QR code right there and enter in your news AZJTA,
ATA.
every purchase that you make, Loaded Gun Copy donates a small portion over to Your News Arizona. These guys 100% supports us. Yeah, so if you're watching today, Steve and Terry Thomas, God bless you guys. Appreciate all your support for Your News Arizona. And that's all I drink every day is Loaded Gun Copy. And these guys are a Patriot-owned company. If you scan the QR code right there, they've got an excellent store of Patriot gear as well. And just all kinds of stuff you guys can check out in their storefront. So again, check out Loaded Gun Copy. So, all right, back to what we're talking about. There we go. But anyways, so what's the next biggest step you're going to be making from here, Sam?
You know, it's really just completing this round of funding and then applying that capital to more marketing to scale this at a bigger pace while we're starting another equity crowd fund, but that one's going to be at a much higher number. Right. And so that's really all it is. It's not really a complex business. It's really just all about content creators and advertisers. That's the only 2 components of our business. The platform itself is built. It'd be like YouTube or Facebook or you know, Instagram. They're already there. Right. You just need the content creators. And the more content creators you bring on, the bigger your audience grows. The bigger the audience grows, the more ad revenue it attracts. So it's you know, it's all one big circle of life. And that's all it is. It's just it's scaling it allows for scaling at a faster pace. So instead of bringing on, let's say 300 content creators, we bring on 3,000 in a month.
Right.
which creates a whole new set of problems, right? Because instead of having 2,000 articles a week, you're having 3,000 and 4,000 and 5,000, and this is where your business is growing, but that's the best problem in the world to have.
Well, I know there's been times you were right in the middle of a conversation and you get 30, 40 different contents coming in to be published.
The other day I had 50 to go through.
Yeah.
50.
Wow.
And that was in a short period of time. And when I was done, there were, after I finished, I go, okay, I'm done. And there was 20 something more that came in while I was approving the 50.
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
like, holy crap.
Yep.
That was the day I think we had 400 or 500 in one day. I mean, it was
Right.
just like nuts. And they all come in, like right now it's slow because it's Monday.
Yep.
And in the afternoon, it starts to speed up, and at night it gets more. And then in the middle of the night, it's even more. So,
So for those of you guys that want to think, well, 400 to 500 is not that many, I can tell you right now, try publishing 400 to 500 stories.
Right.
it's actually quite a bit, I mean, but in the scheme of things, there's 20,000 cities. So if you only had one story a city, you'd have 20,000, and but that's going to require just a massive number of content creators. But there is 210 markets. So that's the 210 markets is how the television DMAs work. So Phoenix consists of a big, not only Maricopa County, I'm talking about the Phoenix market,
Right.
but a large portion of the state. My market is Palm Beach County, so it's Palm Beach, Martin, St. Lucie, Indian River, and Okeechobee County. That's the television market.
Right.
So the high school football game runs in sports in that whole market. What I'm getting at. Market moves.
Yeah. So, one last thing, Sam, I just want to really get that out there to the audience. If you guys are tired of your content not being so much seen on, like, say, YouTube or whatever, get it over to yournews.com. And trust me, it's going to get out there for the world to see it. And it happens that quick after you publish it. So just, check it out. Start getting things published over, and I guarantee you're going to see your audience grow.
Awesome.
So, Sam, you do amazing work, my friend. Love having you on our show. Hope we can have you back on again.
Absolutely.
And again, we're going to be broadcasting live here soon from the border. We're not giving the exact day, but rest assured it's probably going to be somewhere this week. And we'll be doing a live broadcast and also sharing it over to yournews.com.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it, man. I'll come on anytime. Just reach out to me. As long as I'm free, I'll jump on for a few.
All right, my friend.
Awesome.
All right. God bless you.
Again, Sam. Thank you.
Good to see you too, guys. Bye.
God bless you and all the work you do, Sam. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Take
All
care.
Bye.
All right, bye. All right, guys. So you guys are going to have to check out yournews.com. Again, Sam does amazing work, and it gets it out there to the world. Julie, I've got another article I want you to read off to our audience this morning from General.
Absolutely. Would love to.
And this is from General Flynn.
Yay. Our friend General Flynn.
Yep. So let's see if we can get that shared over.
Okay.
Let's see. Is it going to not share it? Come on. I believe it should. There we go. So let me scroll this up just a hair.
Okay.
Okay, that's General Flynn. Yeah, making sure I got the right article.
All right.
And
okay, great. So the unthinkable happened again. Alex Preddy, a leftist activist, was fatally shot while attempting to wield his gun against ICE agents in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Acclaimed by fake news as a, quote, compassionate intensive care nurse, Preddy's fate follows the recent Minneapolis death of Renee Good, another anti-ICE anarchist who deliberately struck an ICE agent with her vehicle while refusing arrest for her prolonged interference with ICE operations. Good, a leftist lesbian activist who had participated in the coordinated harassment of ICE agents on previous occasions and for several hours that day, is ionized by fake news as a, quote, poet and a mother. Predictably, leftist politicians and their fake news parrots are in full court press with textbook who is that? Alinsky efforts to marginalize and denigrate ICE by incessant lies. The broadcast news is MS Now, formerly MSNBC, actually altered a picture of Preddy in a transparent attempt to make him appear more plausible as a, quote, compassionate nurse and less like an Antifa activist who did cosplay in his spare time. It is imperative for them to completely change the subject from the real issue at hand, which is the massive invasion of illegal foreigners into Minneapolis and throughout America, so that a major arm of electoral fraud can continue, along with the enormous financial scamming of billions of dollars from the American people. And the only way to achieve that is to perpetuate the vast vote fraud by which such lunacy dominates public office. This is game, set, match for the left. They know that if illegals are properly removed, those billions in Democrat political machine funding will dry up. Democrats will no longer be able to easily steal elections, and they will thereafter be exposed as merely a hard left fringe. Fair and honest elections mean Democrat criminals get the boot, which cannot be allowed, or the rest of their scam collapses. So it is absolutely imperative that at all costs they change the subject.
Mhm.
Despite their transparent pretense of grieving, leftists are absolutely effusive and jubilant in their grandstanding, believing that these two deaths give them an unassailable banner of moral, quote, legitimacy as they press forward with their anti-American open borders agenda. The shameless sanctimony is nonstop. Every prominent leftist with a microphone from the streets of Minneapolis to the highest levels of state and federal office is overflowing with oratory on the tragedy of even one lost life and their righteous condemnation of government policies that is, we are told, the real culprit here. At the front of the line is Minneapolis Governor Tim Walz, glorying in the limelight with an endless litany of phony leftist moralizing. Walz's latest and perhaps most brazen and despicable declaration is his assertion that illegal alien Somalians in Minnesota are somehow comparable to German Jews under Hitler's Reich. The absurd parallel he attempts to draw could not be further from reality. Yet rather than having climbed onto some unassailable righteous perch where he presumes to be, Walz actually tipped his hand regarding his real concern. And it has absolutely nothing to do with the loss of innocent life. In Walz's world, Preddy and Good were merely collateral damage that served a purpose. Leftists will not hesitate to use and discard others just like them. None of this has been the result of needless death and spontaneous citizen protests. Rather, it has all been officially coordinated. Minneapolis Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan has strong ties with the, quote, Signal Group chat that has been involved with the coordination of anti-ICE protests, doxing of agents, vehicle tracking, and mobilization of leftist activists in the Twin Cities area. Likewise, Walz is clearly running a PR block for the onslaught every time he can get to a camera, as is Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, or Fry.
Yeah,
I
Frey.
don't know how to pronounce his name.
I think it's
Across
Frey.
the world, is it Frey?
I think it is Frey.
Yeah. Across the world, the nation of Iran is on the verge of ousting the Islamist mullahs and ayatollahs who have made the country a living hell for its inhabitants over the past half century. In their place, the common citizens hope to reestablish the reign of Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi as Shah. The Islamists are not happy. and are expressing their disapproval by losing armed Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, or the IRGC, assassins and imported Iraqi mercenaries to mass murder protesting citizens on the streets. Current estimates are that the death toll is in the tens of thousands.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Wow.
So you folks got to keep in mind what you're reading here. I mean, what Julie's reading to you guys. You know, this has all been a deploy, and I'm going to tell you why. Right now with all the fraud that was just exposed. I mean, everything in the book, the billions of dollars that's been taken from us taxpayers. I know they say they stole it from the government, but they actually stole it from we the people.
That's right.
The reason why, because we're the ones that paid the taxes and all this stuff on this crap.
Right.
And so either way, they stole from we the people,
Yes.
including their own party. They stole from, if you think about it, for the honest ones that were paying taxes out there.
Absolutely.
They even
Yes.
stole from them. And if I was a Democrat, I'd be outraged by it. And I would be.
Yep.
Knowing that's where my taxpayer dollars went, is to all these Somalians so that they could ship it back to their home or to to terrorist organizations or whatever.
Yep.
And this is the kind of stuff we're dealing with here in America.
Yep.
And again, don't get me wrong, we've had a couple loss of lives. It doesn't mean I agree with it. I think you've probably read plenty of that.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that we agree with people dying, but at the same time, why would you show up to a protest armed? Seriously, why would you show up to a protest, get into a fight with the ICE agents while you're armed, and expect any other kind of outcome?
Exactly. And especially when these folks are just doing their job when it comes to getting rid of the illegal people who have made massive crimes against us. And they've been in and out of jails. We're talking rapists, murderers, you name it. These are the folks that ICE is going after. And to me, it's absolutely ridiculous that people still think that they're just picking up any willy-nilly just for skin color. They're not doing that at all.
Now, I will say one thing. Oh, we got Mike Grant calling in. Good morning, Your News Arizona.
Yeah, you on the air?
Yes, we are.
Good.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear. Well, I can hear you. I'm not watching on the air. I'm coming back from the range.
Okay.
I can't hear him very well, Jonathan.
All right.
So what I wanted to tell you is that we are back to 24, starting all over with all the haters.
Right.
Like, for instance, on Saturday, I just went to drive through Dublin because I wanted to see all the AARP members that have been let out of the old folks' homes and were missing their lunch standing on the curb. So I made a drive down there and parked in a parking lot, would not go down into the crowd. I just stood back. I wanted to see if they were blocking the sidewalks, because that is an ADA and that's a city and a state ordinance that you cannot block it. It doesn't mean that they can block it till somebody comes. It says you do not obstruct the sidewalks. In other words, you need pathways.
Right.
So I got it on film and everything like that, and then I sent it off to the chief of the police in Dublin, California, which is an Alameda County sheriff chief that we rent. We're a sheriff's department. And he said, "Oh, we'll be down there. We're going to be sending troops or people down there just to do, whatever, looky-loos, drive-bys, because none of them get out of their vehicles anymore. That's why a lot of them look like they couldn't run the 100-yard dash in 40 minutes."
Right.
So what they ended up doing was across the street, on the other side of the street, I seen his head behind a big sign on another corner. So I blew it up and sent it to the chief. I says, yeah, he's here, but he's in the wrong spot. He's not going to see anything that's going on. So I drove around the block. Again, I will not go into the crowds because most of those guys not going to get into an encounter. So I went over there and I walked up behind the sergeant, and I told him, I said, yeah, they're blocking the street on the other side. I mean, they're right blocking the sidewalks. I'm sorry.
Right.
He goes, this was his response. This is what law enforcement's response is with all this going on. Because remember, we're in one of these sanctuary screwball states, in sanctuary screwball states, and said the following: well, did you ask them to move? I looked at him and I told him, I said, I don't need to ask him to move. That's your job.
Thank you.
I'm not going to get involved in an interaction with them because it's not going to be a very good ending for them.
Right.
And he started to argue with me. So I just walked away after I told him a few F words at him, because I'm going to file a complaint today against him. I'm going to go in. I don't know what his name is because I know his name, but it's blurry. So I'm going to go in and file a complaint against him that he is not enforcing city and state law and ADA law, which is federal.
Yeah.
Well, let's make him famous, Mike. Let's make him famous.
Well, he's famous. He's pictures of him. I could probably send you a picture of him. You can put it online telling everybody this is the cop the sergeant. He's in charge of the entire group on that day.
Hey Mike, are you able to share his photo over right now to yournewsarizona@gmail.com? If you are, if you are, I'm going to share his picture right now.
Okay, well, let me pull over here. Give me a minute here. I'll get to it, and you can put it up. You can talk about it. But these law enforcement officers, I'll pull down here a little bit further down here. I do it. I've got these wackadoodle other city cops looking for people. They don't have nothing to do all day except for look for people that hold a cell phone in their hands,
Right.
They get all nervous. Because that's going to really save lives, not holding on to that cell phone, when you got people driving around shooting at people over here and drinking.
Right.
But I'll pull over and I'll send you a couple shots of him. It's blurry on his name. I don't know his name, but you can blow him out nationwide as far as his picture and everything like that.
Yep.
So it's your news. What is it again now? Because it changed on me. Before.
Yeah. Your News Arizona. So at gmail.com.
So if I text it to you, because sometimes these pictures do not go through on an email.
Okay.
If I text it to you, can you pull it off the text and put it up?
Well, by God, I probably
Yeah,
can
we
just
can
send
try.
a text over to my phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Over to my
I'll
email.
just do that.
Yeah, text it to me and I'll.
And then I'll do it. I can pull over. Let me see if I can do it right now while I'm talking to you. Stand by a second here.
Yeah, just don't get a ticket.
No, I pulled over. Like I said, especially me carrying guns and coming back from the range in this communist freaking state. I don't need any problems.
Yeah.
Got enough.
So for our viewing audience, this is Mike Grant, Guns Unlimited. He's a federal firearms instructor out in Dublin, California, and and he's got problems with the law enforcement out there in Dublin, California, doing their job. Kind of like Kingman, Arizona. We got a problem up here in Kingman with our
He's got a
doing
big
their job.
problem with the sheriff in Kingman.
100%.
He's also an Alameda County deputy. They're rented to the city of Dublin.
Mike,
so in other words, like
you did say Alameda County, right?
Alameda County deputy sheriff.
Alameda County deputy sheriff. All right.
I just sent it to you right now. Picture of him. His eyes are closed, but most of the time those guys are asleep anyhow.
Okay. Oh, you sent it to my other phone. Okay.
Yeah,
Hold on.
sorry.
That's all right.
Wrong one.
That's all right.
That's okay.
Let me see if I can still get it over. So hold on a second. We'll see if we can't make this guy famous.
Man, this is disheartening to hear so many police and sheriffs not doing their jobs.
Is Julie on?
Yep, she's talking right now.
Hi, Mike.
She's
Tell her to stir up some crap about these donut eaters that we have that we're paying, millions of dollars, and they don't do their job, and then they want you to go ask the people to move.
well, she
That's
hears
ridiculous.
she
Yeah.
hears you just fine. So here we
Yeah.
go. I'm going to do a screenshot of this guy. And so you're going to see when we publish this, guys, it says Mike Grant, but Mike Grant is not the deputy there. That's the one who sent this. So just want to clear.
Definitely not the deputy.
Actually, I might just I might just have to edit that. Hold on a second. Let me go into my Gmail.
Yeah, it's a sad, sad day. So I've done a little deep dive into our law enforcement, and up until recent, they have always been tied in with the
Okay, hold on
global
one second, Mike.
aspects. With the global aspect. So
The street block or the sidewalks blocked.
Okay, I'm trying to get to my compose to your news Arizona. I'm going to add a picture. Photos, there we go. I got that. So I'm going to send you guys the first one that Mike Grant is talking about. So give me a second. Okay, we're done with that story, right? Yeah.
I sent you another one showing the sidewalks are blocked.
Okay, showing the sidewalks are blocked. Okay.
Yep, I'm sending it. I just sent it to you.
All right.
And I'm going to send you another one of the same stuff.
Okay, here's the first one I think might have just came through. There it is. Well, I think all this stuff is... I think all these pictures are having to float around the ocean. Here we go. So we're going to share the first one of the deputy Mike Grant's talking about. I think that's him. Here we go. See if we can make that larger. Okay. How about that, Julie? Can they see that all right?
Yep. Now, again, people, this is not Mike Grant. This is just a picture of the person who is not doing his job when Mike asked him why the place was blocked sidewalk-wise, and he asked if he asked people to move.
Hey, Mike, I think this guy's name is on his... Hold on. I might be able to...
I can't read it. It's like Gatsby or something like that.
Julie, can you make out the guy's name on his...
No, I can't.
Let me see.
Can you make that larger?
I'm trying. Okay. I can't quite get it.
No, me neither.
I know it's Sergeant D.E.G.L. something Glass. It gets blurry when I
Is
blow
it Gillespie or Glady?
It's hard to tell. I can't tell.
Yeah, it's with the G.
I'll know it in a little while because I'm on my way back to get rid of my guns, and I'm going down there. And I'm gonna get his name and his badge number, and I'm gonna make him famous too. I'm gonna do a YouTube video right out in front of a live news right out in front of the police station on his butt.
So here's what the sidewalks being blocked by these protesters, folks. I'm going to share that as well. That Mike Grant's talking about. He just sent me pictures of it. So give me a second. So anyways, they got the sidewalks blocked, and they're exactly doing nothing about it. Correct, Mike?
Yep, nothing.
And they're expecting, and the sheriff's department tells you to take care of it, right?
Yeah, he told me to go over and tell him to move.
Tells you to tell
sure.
these people to go over and move.
Right.
Did you tell the deputy to go pound sand?
He got some different words, something I won't be saying on the radio.
Well, 100% agree. I probably would.
That's ridiculous.
We went through back in 24, Jonathan, when you and I and talk, some guys would turn to you and tell you to go call the 800 number, which is basically telling you to go pound sand.
Well, that's pretty much what they kept doing, 100%. Okay, so I'm going to share a different picture with you guys. So here, so make that guy famous, guys. Do a screenshot of him, whatever, get it out there. This is a Dublin, California deputy down there telling the citizens to take care of business instead of them doing their damn job. Kind of sounds like Kingman, Arizona.
Very much. Yes.
Dublin, California, and if they want to, hold on a second, you can make a nice little phone call to them and ask the Dublin police why they're not enforcing city law.
Right. So it's the sheriff or the city police, Mike?
It's the city police, but they're all wearing Dublin outfits, but they are deputy sheriffs. This is how much we pay them. This is a shocker to anybody in the Midwest or probably in Arizona. Our city pays for each officer
Right.
$275,000 a year.
What?
Jeez.
What?
Okay.
$275,000 a year, and here's the clincher. We buy the cars. We own the police station. The only thing they show up is with their bagels, their donuts, or their coffee, and their gun.
You got to be
Holy
shitting me.
crap.
That city. No.
What the hell's wrong with that picture, folks?
Big time. That's an issue.
Phone number, Jonathan, put this out. Tell them to call and ask why they are not enforcing the laws of keeping the sidewalks open on these protests.
Well, our
925
925
833
833
6670.
6670.
Make that phone call and ask them today, why are you people not enforcing the state federal law for ADA and keeping the sidewalks open?
Mike, do me a favor.
Pounding on them.
Do me a favor, Mike. Text me over that phone number real quick.
I've got it 925-833-6670.
To you, and I'll send it over on a picture so you got the Dublin police, the address, the whole freaking nine.
Right. Perfect. All right. Hold 1 second, Mike. Hold on. Good morning, Your News, Arizona. Good morning. You're live on the air. Wow, that got him to hang up. All right. Oh, I told them they're live on the air and they click. All right. But anyways, so that's what Mike Grant's talking about. Hold on, Mike. I'm enlarging this picture as well for the audience. So this is what Mike's talking about. These people are all blocking the sidewalks and street. There are deputy sheriffs out there telling them that they take care of it themselves. And this is out in Dublin, California. So this is your police department and your sheriff's department not doing their job. Correct, Mike?
Wow.
Yeah, the police department that we have is all deputy sheriffs wearing Dublin uniforms, driving Dublin police cars.
Wow.
Right. Wow. Unbelievable.
That's how they do it out here in California. And remember, what are you getting for $275,000 per officer? That's what I want to know.
Donut
Per
eaters. Donut eaters.
officer. That's amazing. Per officer. Insane.
If they're not doing their job, what the hell are they doing besides eating donuts?
Right.
They're not doing their job.
Yeah.
And that they also run one of the largest jails, and there are illegals in that jail, and right next to that jail is the old women's prison that they were all up against having ICE reopen that prison up as a detaining center.
Wow.
So what they end up doing is that county does not pass or participate with ICE letting them in the jail. The county supervisors last week set up whatever, a moratorium, an ordinance or whatever that they passed stating that ICE could not be on county properties, which is BS. ICE can go, federal can go anywhere they want if they got a warrant.
Right.
And it's all to appease to these wackos like we had on TV last night at that golden or with a globe or whatever the heck that awards were yelling out, "Stop ICE."
Right. Well, and Mike, you sent me over the phone number for the Dublin PD, right?
Yep, it's there on that phone number that I usually use of yours.
All right. So hold on a second. I'm going to read this off to the audience one more time.
I can read it off. I've got it.
So I just want to make sure I wrote it down right, Julie.
Yep.
I hope I did.
925.
Hold on 1 second. Okay. Okay, so the phone number one more time, Mike, because I don't see your message, sir. That one did not come. 925 833
6670.
6670.
And the receptionist or whatever will answer the phone and just ask them why they're not enforcing state, federal ADA laws in the city ordinance to keep the sidewalks open. Make that call. Let's burn their phone lines up. Let's give them something to think about.
Yep. 100% agree, brother. So, guys, I've got the highest support, respect and support for law enforcement, for the ones that do their job.
Right.
The problem that we're having across this country right now is we've got our law enforcement not doing their job. Kind of like even out here in Arizona with what recently happened to me, did not do their job.
Yeah.
And this is an ongoing problem that we're seeing around the country, not just in my area or Mike's area. This is going on around the country.
Agreed.
Constantly, we're seeing law enforcement standing down, not doing their job, not responding to calls as they should.
Right.
And again, who hires the sheriff's department, guys? Who does the sheriff work for? We the people.
Us. We the people.
That's the way it's supposed to be. They're supposed to work for us, not the other way around.
That's right.
We the people are the ones that hire them.
Yep.
So, and again, Mike, I think we ought to be like Donald Trump out there in the city of Dublin. Just tell them all they're fired.
I think I've told the city manager several times we need to get a Doge group in town and start cutting some of these fat cats out. Get rid of them.
100% agree.
Agreed.
Well, I think we need to make some noise. I think we need to just blow this issue up and just get it out there to everybody. So,
well, this is the start. If we don't start this pushback now, we're not going. We will, unfortunately, take it in the shorts with the November election coming up because everybody's gone to sleep. In my opinion, I think you brought that up.
Oh yeah.
And they don't realize these law enforcement officers are not going to do anything because, and I always ask them this, and I always tell them, you guys are more worried about your pension than actually taking care of the citizens.
That's right.
I deny that, but that's what they're doing. They worry about their pension. I mean, here's an example, and I want Julie to she can hear me and you.
She can hear you.
This is how much city managers in the Bay Area, which would be Dublin, Pleasanton, San Ramon, these people are making $385,000 to $400,000 a year.
Wow.
Holy crap. Wow.
City manager. That's not the assistant city manager, the finance people. I mean, it is incredible the amount of money that these people make, and they're actually thinking they're doing something. Like I always tell them, I don't need you people for anything. I have off-road stuff. I've got my place with all the stuff to survive on, generators, obviously guns, and I don't need law enforcement or you people to tell me or take care of me.
100% agree.
When the shit hits the fan, you people will be coming to me trying to figure out how you're going to save your ass.
Damn right.
Right.
So.
Wow.
All right. Well, guys.
Sorry about the language.
That's all right. That's all right, Mike. Well, guys, we are at an hour and 15 minutes into our show. We kind of went over today. Mike, appreciate you calling into the studio. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mike.
That's some great.
Talk to you later.
That's some great information. Thank you, sir. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get something shared over to you guys here in a minute. All right, guys, I've got a little more I want to share with you guys real quick before I end this broadcast. And give me a second. I'm going to get it over to you guys. So this is what Tom Holman's been having to deal with here. And this is where Tom Holman actually calls out the Catholic Church.
Sorry.
And any update on the agents that are going to Charlotte as far as the increased immigration effort in Charlotte, North Carolina? Can you talk about that?
I'm not going to discuss any operation until it actually takes place. We'll see if that happens.
This week, the Catholic bishops sent out a special message. They said they get that countries can secure their borders, but they don't like these mass deportations, which is.
So according to them, the message we should send to the whole world is that if you cross the border illegally, which is a crime, don't worry about it. If you get ordered removed by a federal judge after due process, don't worry about it, because there shouldn't be mass deportations. If that's the message we send to the whole world, people are still going to put themselves in harm's way to come to the greatest nation on earth. They're going to spend their life savings to give it to a criminal cartel. And we saw during the Biden administration, when there was no immigration enforcement, over 4,000 aliens died making that journey, historic record. 250,000 Americans died from fentanyl, historic record. Secure borders saves lives, and I wish the Catholic Church would understand that. We have the right to secure our borders like they have the right to secure their facility. You know, you can't enter their facility without getting arrested. Matter of fact, the penalties for entering their facilities are much worse than ours. So, you know, we're going to force the law, and by doing that, we're saving a lot of lives. Secure border saves lives. And one of the reasons no one talks about why we have the most secure border in the history of this nation is because exactly what ICE is doing. ICE is sending a message to the whole world: don't give your life savings to come to a country, because you're not going to be released. You're not going to cross the border illegally, you're going to be prosecuted. So the Catholic Church is wrong. I'm sorry, but I'm a lifelong Catholic. I'm saying it as not only at borders, I'll say it as a Catholic. I think they need to spend time fixing the Catholic Church, in my opinion.
On H-1B visas, did you
All right, so that's Tom Holman. And I got one other one I want to share from Mr. Holman today as well. Or this might have been yesterday, actually. Sorry about that. But I'll get that over to you guys.
I just got home last night. I toured the border in California, Arizona, and Texas. I did it in a four-wheel drive. I did it on the river. I did it from the air. Hundreds upon hundreds of miles of border. I didn't see one illegal alien. Not a single one. I've done this since 1984. I worked for 6 different presidents. No one's done more than President Trump. What he has done is gave us the most secure border in the history of this nation. Hard to stop. I went to hundreds of miles of border and didn't see one illegal alien. Incredible, considering the Biden administration, we had 10, 12,000 a day, most released in the United States.
That we did.
I'm proud to be with these patriots behind me. I'm already proud to be in the Oval Office of the President, but being with these heroes, I met some of these soldiers down on the border, And actually, a shout out to Fort Drum, New York. We got some 10th Mountain Division here, so Elise Stefanik, Claudia Tennant, we all love Fort Drum and the 10th Mountain. So look, this is a game changer. I want to make something perfectly clear, because we get attacked all the time being inhumane.
So you guys got to keep in mind, as we just broadcasted recently, we have got active military down on our borders as we speak down in the Yuma sector. We're also going to be covering the Tucson sector here shortly and showing you guys that as well.
The Biden administration is much more humane. It's a bunch of crap. Because there's been studies done that 31% of women that make that journey through the cartels get sexually assaulted. They get raped. And not just the women, children too. I've done numerous investigations in that.
This is where we kept sharing with you guys when we were reporting live down in the Tucson sector. These little children and some of these women coming through the borders down there, they reeked of semen. And I'm talking male semen. And I know that's a touchy subject for some people, for us to even broadcast this to, but that's the truth. And that's what Your News Arizona is all about, is broadcasting the truth. And a lot of these children that came through those borders, some of them had up to 10 different semens in them from being raped by the brutally raped by the cartel. This is the kind of stuff that these Democrats right now are trying to protect. These thugs, they're protecting these rapists, murderers. I mean, you name it. This is why I'm so down on the Democrats. It has nothing to do with all this protesting and all this bullshit. It has everything to do with who they're protecting. And they're protecting these same exact rapists and murderers.
Sex trafficking was historic highs with the open border. Fentanyl, historic highs that killed 250,000 Americans. No inspector terrorists that came across the border. Record, historic. What happened under the Biden administration was the most inhumane thing I've seen in my lifetime. Now that the border is 96% decline, 96% less people are coming, how many women aren't being raped? How many children aren't dying making that journey? How many women and children aren't being sex trafficked into this country every day? How many known suspected terrorists aren't just walking across that border? President Trump and this administration is saving thousands of lives every month.
So I'm just going to say this, for those of you guys that are down on Donald Trump, our president, our president is doing everything in his power to protect our borders, to secure our country, and to get these illegal thugs out of our country. Whether you love them or hate them, this is all about God, family, and country. This is about your children, my children, our grandkids. This isn't about us. I've already had a good life. And if I die today, at least I died knowing that I fought for this country and did everything in my power to help try to put a stop to this and getting it exposed out there to the world.
Hard stop. That's just a stone cold fact. I'm just proud to be a part of this. I work with Steve Miller every day. Steve Miller is one of the most brilliant people I've met in my entire life. President Trump brought together one hell of a team here, and the success proves we all working together, one team, one fight. We're not done yet. We're going to keep going, and I guarantee you we're going to continue saving thousands and thousands of lives. Secure border means strong national security. Secure border saves lives.
Point blank and clear. Secure borders do save lives. And again, all these protesters out there protesting, being whistleblowers on our ICE agents. They're putting our ICE agents in harm's way by doing it. They're interfering with federal operations. These people need to be held accountable. They should be jailed. Tampon Tim needs to be held accountable and jailed. The mayor out there in Minneapolis needs to be held accountable for promoting violence against our ICE agents, telling people to keep it up. And this is the kind of stuff that we're facing in this country each and every day, folks. So anyways, I just wanted to share that with you guys today. I know it's been a long broadcast. Appreciate all you guys who joined in, to Jonathan and Julie D in the morning. God bless all you patriots out there. And I do want to promote real quick. Again, Loaded Gun Coffee out of Lake Havasu, Arizona. He's one of our major sponsors for Your News Arizona. So, and if you guys enter in the code Your News AZJTA. When you make a purchase, Stephen and Terry Thomas, they donate a small portion over to Your News Arizona. We do not make money from what we do, folks. We do this on our dime to get the truth out to America. And it's great having sponsors like Loaded Gun Coffee who help promote us and keep us going. Or if you guys just want to make a contribution over to Your News Arizona, up in the right-hand corner, just scan that QR code where it says support your news, and you guys can make a contribution that way as well. If you like what we do, please like, follow, and share us out there. That's what keeps us going. You can find us on YouTube under Johnathon, Johnathon. Excuse me, Facebook under Johnathon, Johnathon, Townsend, Townsend, Alexander. Or you can find me on Facebook as well under Your News Arizona. You can find us on Your News Arizona on YouTube, Rumble, X, um, and quite a few others out there, which we're going to put on one of our broadcasts, showing you guys all the different channels we broadcast live on. Also going to be broadcasting live on Q Broadcast coming up. If you guys don't know about Q Broadcast, it's unlimited television for $69.99 a month, and I'm going to post them up there for you guys in place of that. My link is up in the right-hand corner now. You can scan the QR code for Q Broadcast. Check it out. So the Q Broadcast is a Patriot-owned company. They offer you all your HBO, Showtime, Cinemax, Stars, Encore, pay-per-views, all your NFL packages, all your sports packages. You get it all, folks. You get everything that you get on satellite, but 100 times more for $69.99 a month. If you had that programming on satellite or cable, it would easily cost you $220 a month or higher. And they give it all to you for $69.99 a month. The beauty of Q Broadcast is they don't lock you into a contract. It's month to month. So if you don't like it after your first month of having a subscription, you can turn around and cancel and just be done with it. If you love it, keep it. And that's exactly what we use for all of our television channels. We're using Q Broadcast now for 3 years. And again, our news channel is going to be on Q Broadcast as well, coming up here soon. It's all being developed and in the makings. So you guys can find us in the channel 100s on Q Broadcast under Your News Arizona. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and end this broadcast. God bless you guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in today. And please like, follow, and share us. Get us out there to the world. Other than that, have a wonderful day. And we'll see you guys again tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 9 Pacific.